Welcome to Love, Light, and Darkness Tarot. This is the reading for the fire signs. The way that I set up the reading is so that you can just listen to it, not engage with the cards too much. I find that sometimes we become preoccupied with the cards and their meaning. I do read tarot canonically, but I also am an intuitive reader. So I would just like you to just relax, listen to the message, and if it resonates with you, it's for you. If it doesn't resonate with you, please know that that's perfectly okay. Please do not sit through a reading that triggers you. Please remember that you're listening to all readings at your own volition and discretion. Please remember to use your own intuition and discretion when ingesting the reading. I am using the Artist Decoded Tarot, if you're curious. I'll shout out the cards as I feel that it's necessary or important. But for the most part, as I said, just sit back, relax, listen. And also, please note that I read as if it's one big story. So there are messages that come out here, but there are other elements of the same message that may come out for different signs. So be sure to check out all the videos because another element may have pieces of the puzzle that just didn't come out here. And if you like the reading, please be sure to like it and please be sure to subscribe. All right, let's get started. Ooh, Fire Collective, my goodness. 2 cards came out, 9 of Swords, 4 of Cups. I don't read this deck in reversals, if that, some people find that very salient. With the 9 of Swords and the 4 of Cups, this is really heavy energy, Fire Collective. Actually, like, my stomach sank a little bit when I saw this. You've given your all to the love of someone. Like, you have loved someone with everything to the best of your ability. And I think you feel that it's just not enough. Like, no matter how much you cry over them, hurt over them, they see your pain and it just doesn't, like, it doesn't resonate with them. It's like something doesn't click. They know you're in pain. They know they're hurting you. It's just something doesn't click. And you may wonder, like, why don't they care? Mm. If they love you, why don't they hurt when you hurt? And it's probably because you've probably realized this person or these, with 4 of Cups, I can read that as an inner circle, a group of people who you were once inner circle with, and you may be realizing that, oh, these are not my people because I'm in pain and they don't care. They're hurting me. They don't have any empathy for me, so they can hurt me with a clear conscience because they don't hurt when I hurt. And now the timing of that just flipped, where now I'm feeling that if you're resonating with this message, you did feel that way, but you felt that way some time ago. And the people you used to stay up at night thinking about, hurting over, now they stay up at night thinking about you, hurting over you. Like, karmically, you switched places with someone. There's been some sort of great reversal between you and a person or you and a group. And everything you used to feel, now someone else is feeling it, but they feel it about you. Because they wonder, like, why can't you feel that they long for you? Why can't you feel that they miss you? Why doesn't it matter to you that they miss you? Why won't you call? Why don't you reach out? Why is it that if they reach out, you seem to not care? And they don't know why it has to be this way. But the more they think about it, the more they realize they're sitting in the seat that you once sat in. Because you were in pain and you reached out and you wanted them to have feelings for you and they didn't. like feel your pain, feel your grief, have empathy for you, have compassion on you, attune to you, they wouldn't do it. So now it's their turn. I believe it's Tammy Terrell. She has this song, I Cried. And I think the opening line, she says, I cried, and now it's your turn to cry over me. And not in a vindictive way. I don't feel this coming from you, Fire Collective. I just feel like your attitude is that's how it goes. These are the seeds they sowed. You never wanted it to be this way. We reap as we've sown. And for those of us who are innocent in something, the Word of God promises that if we sow in tears, we will reap in joy. We'll get beauty for ashes. And I think that's you, where you, in innocence, you thought a group was your inner circle. You thought they were your people, they had your back. Like, it's actually making me emotional. You thought like we're family, or we're friends who might as well be family, or we started something together. It's us to the end of time. And then you learn that they would actually take someone else's side over yours. They would make a decision knowing that it would hurt you, and hurting you was the point. To knock you down, or to put you in your place, or some other really shisty thing. And it kept you up at night. It vexed your soul. You cried about that. Like, why? I was loyal to them. Did I do something wrong? I don't think I did. But why don't they love me like I love them? Why aren't they for me the way I'm for them? You sowed in those tears, and now it's time for you to reap in peace, calm, joy. But for those who put you in that position, there's an intentionality with that, because swords are very intentional. I think whoever this is, they knew that given the nature of their relationship to you, the right thing to do would be to be on your side, or to back you, or to protect you. Swords can indicate guardianship, protection. They knew that given the fact that they were your such and such, they needed to cover you, protect you, guard you. Even if they didn't understand the situation, if you asked for help, they should have been there for you. They know that. And they chose to do something else though. And at the time, it didn't keep them up at night. But now something has changed where they're haunted. Oh, it's like they didn't hear your tears when you cried them, but they hear them now. And it keeps them up at night. Someone keeps replaying how they saw you cry. They can't sleep at night because they just keep remembering. They just keep having images of you crying, of you begging, of you just at a loss, like pleading with them, be for me. Like, people hate that line from Grey's Anatomy when Meredith said, love me, choose me. But I don't hate it. I think it was the most raw, vulnerable thing a character could do. We've all been there where we're looking at someone and pleading with them, just love me. The choice is simple. It's me, love me. And I think you've been there, and it just, they didn't choose you. And that probably shook up your confidence for a really long time. Like, what is it about you that they wouldn't choose? But now I feel like you're over that. You're like, whatever. That's what happened. That's how they feel. Because Fire Collective, you don't stay down for long. You really don't. And it's not that you don't care. It's just that as a Fire Collective, you know how to self-motivate, how to be your own source of fuel, and to power yourself forward. That's really dangerous for other people, because for others, if they put you in a position where you have to learn to live without them, you absolutely will. And then once you learn to live without them, it's a done deal. It's a wrap. And I think that's haunting someone or a group. They were once very close to you, like in your house. Like they slept over at your house, you slept over at their house. You broke bread together. Maybe you traveled together. I see people, like a group of women in bed together, like like sitting on the bed, laughing, talking, like girl talk, but like let's lay on each other's beds and like girl talk, like close, intimate relationship. You don't just let people that close to you. Someone is real because these are people who didn't know they lost you. They didn't see it as a loss, and now they do. And now that they see this distance between you and them as a loss, they're understanding how close they were to you, how close they got, how you really let them in. And they're realizing that they like acted a plumb fool, that they hurt you. And the only reason they were able to hurt you like that is because of how close they got to you. So now you've put them on the absolute outskirts of your life. They are not that close to you. You're not that close to them. And they're feeling now the pain of being people who aren't close to you and who you don't want close to you. And it doesn't matter how they long for you. You can't even feel it. You don't care. It's not their feelings, just like your feelings didn't matter to them. Now their feelings really don't matter to you. And all they can do is stay up at night being haunted by that. Yeah, clarifier, Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Pardon me. You come across very battle tested. There are those who are realizing they put you through a lot. They hurt you very much, very deeply, not once or twice, for years. You, because of how strong you are, you had the wherewithal to endure like years of someone like treating you bad, until one day you decided, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want life to be constant warfare. I want to use my energy to overcome real obstacles and gain real ground. I don't want to have to use my strength to survive relationships. That's not what my strength is for. That's not what my sword is for. I don't want to use a sword to defend myself. I want to use a sword to pioneer. Well, I don't like that word because of the historical context. Let me think. I want to use my sword like for mental dexterity, to mentally engineer and brainstorm new frontiers, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's making you okay. This group isn't used to people like giving up on them and deciding that they're not actually worth the harm that they do. I think this is a group that hurts people. Yeah. See, this is what I mean when I say it's one big story. Because Water Collective, their first card was a Ten of Swords. Now Fire Collective, your first card is the Nine of Swords. You know, you may need to listen to Water Collective's reading. This is a group, there's something very barbed and sharp about them. And they know it. They know that they have some sort of inner turmoil that they act out on people, especially people close to them. And for them, in their mindset, if you love them, then you will take their abuse and you won't ever confront them about it and you won't bring it up, and you'll just be strong enough to survive it. Believe it or not, in a really messed up way, these people loved you the most because you were a Queen of Swords and you were strong enough to withstand their abuse and not break from it. What I mean by that is, if you broke from their abuse, then everyone would know that they were abusive and then they would get caught. But if you refuse to be dominated by them, if you fight back, if you're strong enough to endure them, then no one ever thinks that they're abusing you. So then they can abuse you without ever getting caught. And it occurs to me now that this could be a triggering reading. No wonder that message came out at the beginning, to listen at your own discretion, okay? Please use discretion when engaging the content of any reader. You know your story better than anyone else. And if this is not something you can hear right now, please, please do not expose yourself to this reading if it's too triggering. I'm going to give you a second to log off or fast forward if you like. Okay, I'm resuming now. Yeah, something's off about these people. And some of you, these are your relatives, man. Some of you, you have like really toxic relatives. And they have these really toxic dynamics, and they feel like love is that you put up with the harm that I do to you, and I never have to say I'm sorry, and you never confront me. And the people they love the most are the people who can take the harm and not cry about it or call attention to it or unmask them or want, apologies. And you have that amount of strength where you could take it all, and you did take it all. But something happened. I don't know if you just got fed up with Knight of Pentacles. It takes a long time for something to get to fill up to the line of the Knight of Pentacles. It takes years for a Knight of Pentacle level change. So I think after years and years of this, and maybe your own personal growth, I mean, if I'm resonating with you and you're resonating with me, you are on a journey of personal growth. So that means you took a look at yourself at some point. You probably took a look at your own personal relationships and how they've been going, and you realize maybe you are you've been in the past, you were probably conditioned to be really like severe, even ruthless, unforgiving to other people. And you probably took a look at that at some point and realized, I don't want to be that way in relationships. I don't want to steamroll over everybody. I need to evolve beyond that. I need to figure out what is the true highest order of consciousness for a Queen of Swords. The sword is to be shrewd, to represent mental dexterity, mental sharpness, mental clarity, to cut through the noise, get to the heart of the matter, not necessarily to defend yourself and not necessarily to use on other people. And as you evolved to realize that, I think you started seeing this group really clearly, and how you haven't been, well, in the past, I don't think this is you now, but I think your eyes were open to, oh, I'm not gentle with the emotions of others because I've never had someone be gentle with my emotions. And that's when you probably realize that this is a group that does not have the capacity to feel you, like to attenuate to you. Empathy is to feel as someone else feels. Compassion is to have feelings for someone, to feel sorry for them. Empathy is to feel as them. And in close relationships, there should be so much attunement that we can feel what each other feels. We can share each other's emotional burden. We laugh together, we cry together, for example, because we share each other's emotional burden and we feel as one another. And I think at some point you had an awakening about a group that they cannot feel as you. In fact, their love for you is on the basic premise that they never have to have feelings. They never have to care about your feelings. They never have to be gentle with you, that they can be harmful and you will just take it. That's why they care for you so much. You're their favorite person to like spar with, or you're their favorite person to hurt because they can't necessarily hurt you because you acted for so long. You act as if you didn't even have feelings. But as soon as you accepted that part of yourself that can feel, that's when you realize there's something really wrong with these people. Like really, really wrong with them. And I think you, yeah, Queen of Swords, you completely separated yourself. And you didn't realize it at the time, probably, but the stance you've taken for yourself, that you've decided no more warfare, no more being in relationships where it's always agony, it's always a fight, there's always tension. And if I try to bring peace, they'll mess it up and bring tension, contention, because that's the only thing that they know. And that's the only thing that makes them feel comfortable. And they don't know how to talk to me unless they can fight with me. They don't know how to talk to me unless they can argue or criticize. Once you severed that and took a stance for yourself and said, I'm not going to live like that, you actually initiated an awakening for this group, that like you baptized them in the feelings that they didn't want to feel. And I feel like it's even years and years and years of feelings that they haven't had to feel. All of a sudden they're getting flooded by it. They're drowning in it. It's keeping them up at night. And they're thinking about the things they said to you, things they said about you, things they did to you, how they treated you. They're feeling it all now. And I think in the past, like they really believe, in the past, they believed love means never having to say, I'm sorry. So they would do dirt to you, they would hurt you, and they would count on you just acting as if nothing ever happened. And then you two would be back together. But now you're not acting as if nothing ever happened. Someone used to count on like screaming at you, lashing out at you, and then they never have to apologize. They'll just wait it out until you can't bear the distance anymore. So you'll call them and check on them, or you'll come around their house, or especially in toxic families, someone makes sure to have a lot of power and control over the family. So all events happen at their house. So they can lash out at anybody, they can be horrible to anyone, but at the end of the day, you still have to come to their house because they're the one hosting everything. And because you have to come on to their house and to their turf, you have to just let it go what they said because you're on their turf. That's the function of someone having power and control and an iron fist over their family. But you, as Queen of Swords, you said, okay, well then I just won't go there. And if anybody wants a relationship with me, they'll have to have a personal relationship with me because I'm not going there. And I'm no longer going to act as if someone didn't say what they said or someone didn't do what they did. And if they want to speak to me about it, they have to speak to me through the door of an apology. And as long as they're willing to apologize, we have nothing to say. But the next words out of their mouth to me should be an apology. And because you did that, someone is at a complete loss because they never had to apologize. They thought love means never having to apologize. You've put them in a position where they're floundering. They don't know what to do. They feel all at sea, adrift, unmoored. They don't know how to pick up a phone and call somebody that they've hurt and say, I know I hurt you and I'm sorry. And can we talk? They don't know how to do that. They only know how to have something on their turf where the person they hurt has no choice but to come on their turf and then act like nothing ever happened. That's all they know how to do. And you're not allowing that. As Queen of Swords, the word I'm getting is buttress, which I haven't heard. That's such a medieval word, and I haven't heard that in the longest. Hold on. Buttressed is an adjective. It's said of a building or structure to strengthen or support with a buttress, a buttressed wall. Increase the strength to increase the strength of or justification for, to reinforce. No wonder that word came to me. yeah, you just have increased justification for the stance you've taken of, I've cried over you as much as I'm going to cry over you. You've made me cry. You've made me hurt as much as you're ever going to make me hurt. And if you have an apology to give, I will listen. But as long as there's no apology or even simple acknowledgement, I have nothing to say. Stay where you are. And that's causing that stance of yours as the Queen of Swords in all your regalia and all of your elegance. That's such a Queen of Swords limitation, boundary, a strong reinforced boundary. No one can just plow through this. That means people know they can't just show up at your house and force you to talk to them. They can't just manipulate people. Like a narcissist is at a loss because they send so many flying monkeys your way and all of them return back empty handed. And they're realizing none of their defense mechanisms are going to work. None of their manipulation tactics are going to work. That you are a true Queen of Swords and you've put a very heavy boundary between yourself and them. And there's only one door to you, and it's the door of acknowledgement and apology. That has baptized them in their emotions, something that they were trying their hardest not to feel because they feel so much. They feel alone. They feel wrong. They feel like they did so much harm and that they're a bad person, and they just want you to make it go away. And they're fixated on you that you can make it go away if you would just act as if nothing ever happened, but they can't force you to do that. Nine of Wands, which is reaffirming that, yeah, you've heard all you're going to hurt. You've taken all you're going to take. Oh, wow. So now we have Empress energy here because we have two queens, the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. So once we have more than one queen, we're looking at the makings of Empress energy. This is such a brave thing for you to do, Fire Collective. And I say brave because I think I'm channeling and resonating with the group of people. No one has ever acknowledged your feelings ever. And you are now in bravery taking a journey to acknowledge yourself, to advocate for how you feel, to take the side of your own feelings, and to even go and find new people who will also take the side of your feelings. If it's not the people you've known, then there are other people in this world. And what your old Four of Cups wouldn't do, a new Four of Cups will do. You're daring to feel and not be all war, all defense, all offense. You're daring to be shrewd with your boundaries, but to know once you've put the proper boundaries in place, it is then safe to love. It's safe to be open. It's safe to let someone in. What made you unsafe was when you dealt with people who wanted their hearts to be closed, and they wanted your heart to be closed so that they could not feel you and you could not feel them. And then there's all that emotional information that never blips the radar. So you don't know, it doesn't, in the past, it wouldn't occur to you that, oh, that's kind of weird that this person hurt me and now they're gone about their life like nothing happened. Because in your mind, in the past, it's war. So you give as good as you get. But now that you dare to see life differently, that life is not war. Life can be peace. Now you're attuned to those who can have a feeling for you, that if they hurt you, they know they've hurt you. And you can look in their eyes and tell that they feel something about the pain that they've caused you. And they couldn't dare act like nothing ever happened because they're carrying around your pain with them. And they are prompted, because they can feel the pain they've caused you, they're prompted to make it better. They wouldn't dare ask you to act as if nothing ever happened. Those are the people you're drawn to now, and that's the change you're making now. That's really brave. Wow, that's brave. But I think it does require you to move on from what you've known